Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2019 Mark Twain D.A.R.E graduation. Before we get started with the ceremony today, we have a high school student here with us today, Maddie McGill. She's going to come up and make a presentation to Mrs. Lee Marker. So we'll have Maddie come up first.
My name is Maddie McGill, and I am a graduated senior from Miamisburg High School. I would like to start by congratulating you on your D.A.R.E graduation. I myself had the opportunity to graduate from the D.A.R.E program when I was in 5th grade. The information you learned through your time with Officer Sherritts will help you as you move on to middle school and high school. Being able to equip yourself with the knowledge to help you make positive decisions in your life about drugs and alcohol will prove to be a valuable tool. In addition to having that knowledge, I recommend surrounding yourself with friends that share your values and passions. Being a part of the BOLD, Building Our Lives Drug-Free, has allowed me to do that in my high school. In addition to a strong friend group, it has provided me trusted adults that I can turn to if I have questions or concerns. The members of BOLD would love to see our club grow so that more students can use what they learn in D.A.R.E and apply it to their lives. We would like to present this Vikings Are Bold banner to your school principal. We hope that this will serve as a reminder that there are more students in middle and high school that are making a choice to live drug-free and alcohol-free. Thank you for your time and good luck in middle school.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, the first people I'd like to thank are the ones that make the D.A.R.E program possible, and that's the City of Miamisburg, the Miamisburg City Schools, and the Miamisburg Police Department, and all their support for the program, because without it today, it wouldn't be possible. I'd also like to thank all the parents and relatives who have joined us today. I had a great time working with your kids this year. It's a good group. We had fun, and I'm hoping they learned a lot. One of the things some of the things we talk about in D.A.R.E classes, we talk about accurate information about alcohol and tobacco. We talk about making good choices, good decisions, and how to deal with peer pressure. We talk about bullying, how to be good citizens, and we also talk about how to be safe with over-the-counter and prescription drugs. The goal for you 5th graders is to use the information we talk about. As you grow older, get into middle school and high school, you're probably going to encounter some difficult situations. Remember back to some of the things we talked about in D.A.R.E class. We have quite a few guests who have joined us today to congratulate you on your accomplishment. So I'd like to introduce them now. From the City of Miamisburg, we have your Mayor, Dick Church. From the Miamisburg City Council, we have Michelle Collins, your soon-to-be mayor. From the Miamisburg Municipal Court, we have the Judge, Robert Reddick. From the Miamisburg Police Department, we have the Chief of Police, John Sedlak. From the Miamisburg City Schools, we have your Superintendent, Dr. David Vale. And of course, you all know your principal, Mrs. Lee Marker. Some of our guests would like to say a few words, and we'll begin with Mayor Church.
Good afternoon. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you on graduating the D.A.R.E program. You know, it was 23 years ago that the mayor and city council members back then told our city manager that we wanted to start a D.A.R.E program in Miamisburg. Thousands of kids have been where you're sitting during those years, and we hope that that message of being responsible and staying away from drugs and alcohol is going to carry you the rest of your lives. Before we get going, I want to thank Joe McKenzie from Miami Valley Cable Council for being on the camera. And you can see this graduation on Cable Channel 5, not only probably starting next week, but many, many times before the next Mark Twain D.A.R.E graduation. D.A.R.E is important, and it is a partnership. The sign back there over Joe's head says it's a partnership for a better community. And to me, it's the best thing that we have going between the city of Miamisburg, our Miamisburg City School District, and I'm even going to say the court system. Judge Reddick has been very successful in working in coming to these graduation ceremonies. You and I have something in common this year. I'm graduating too. At the end of this year, I'm retiring after 28 years as mayor. So during that 23 years of D.A.R.E, I've seen a lot of different individuals come up and be congratulated. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different. There's a lot of colds and flu and allergies going around. So instead of shaking hands, we're going to fist bump everybody as you come through the line. So we don't want to get you sick this close to summer vacation. The thing I want to leave you with is if you follow what Officer Doug has told you, you're going to be successful. You can do anything you want, you know, but you got to make it happen. And as I tell everybody every year, you are going to be challenged sometime in your life. Someone's going to ask you to do something that you know is wrong. And don't give in to peer pressure. Stand up and tell them, no, I'm not doing that. And you shouldn't be doing it either if they're a good friend of yours. But there'll be somewhere, sometime in your life, someone's going to challenge you. Remember the lessons of D.A.R.E, and I will guarantee you, you'll have a great rest of your life. God bless you. This will probably be my final time at Mark Twain, so good luck to all of you in the future. Goodbye.
Next, we have Judge Reddick.
Thank you. I'm going to try to be brief. There's a lot of people here today. First, I want to thank Joe, too. He comes to all of these. He's very dedicated. He does a good job filming it and preserves it so it can run over and over, and you can see yourself on TV, and it's kind of nice. I also want to thank the parents that are here. You have no idea how valuable that is. A lot of people take that for granted. The kids need you, and your being involved in their lives makes a huge difference. Authority figures can say and do certain things. It's what they're taught at home that makes a difference. Every single educator knows that, and I certainly do too, and I really appreciate your attending and being here today. When I knew I was going to speak at Mark Twain, I'm going to change up what I normally talk about because Mark Twain smoked cigarettes. He smoked them and smoked them and smoked them. He quit a lot. And there's a famous saying that Mark Twain said. Do any of you know it? No. What Mark Twain said was, it's easy to quit smoking. I've done it 1,000 times. Do you know what that means? Yes, what's it mean?
It means it's hard to quit smoking.
Yes, it certainly is. He never could quit. Go ahead.
If he said he's done it 1,000 times, that means he's done it multiple times and trying to quit.
He's failed 999 because he can't quit. He never could. And when I was coming here to Mark Twain, and I smoked. When I was a young man, I smoked Kent cigarettes, and I smoked them all the time. I had 4 kids, and I can remember it so vividly. We were at my Uncle Edward's funeral, and my babysitter drove up in my car. I had a 6-month-old little girl. It was Elise, and the babysitter said, she's not breathing well. So we got in our car and drove straight to Children's Hospital, and they admitted her. The surgeon came out with a little mask on his face. He had been in surgery before he saw Elise, and he said, is there someone in the household that smokes? And you know who that someone was, don't you? Me. and that was my last cigarette. So I thought I'm going to talk about a different subject. Normally I go on and on about heroin because I have to fight the heroin epidemic daily. But we've kind of crested a corner with that, and I hope it continues to abate. But I wanted to talk to you about smoking. They make all these commercials and whatever they say. Now we have all these kids vaping. They think it looks cool to vape. That kills you just as much as smoking does. Please don't use tobacco. Now, as the mayor said, there's going to come a time in your life when you're going to be tried, tested, tempted, maybe cajoled. Those are all words that mean the same thing. Somebody's going to try to get you to do something that you know in your heart of hearts is not right. I'm asking you to dig down deep. Remember all the things that Doug and your parents, and I hope you've learned to say no. Don't do what they ask. Now, it's not going to be in the hard light of day like this. It'll be maybe in a basement, some night at a party, somewhere where people are maybe going to urge you to follow your peer group or do something that you know is not right. Try this cigarette, drink this sip of beer, do something else that you know is not right. Don't do it. You have the intestinal fortitude, the guts to say no. Stand up, use that D.A.R.E decision-making model you've learned. Don't do it. And I'm going to ask a little more of you. If you've got a friend that may be taking the wrong path, maybe somebody that's seated to your right or left, if they're doing the wrong thing, maybe you want to counsel them to reconsider something you do. Now, you're getting more and more responsibility as you grow up. Next year, you're going to be in the 6th grade in middle school, and you'll have more and more personal responsibility. You see, I said personal responsibility. That means you get to make some choices for yourself. And I expect you to make good ones. I'm here asking and begging you to make good ones. So good luck and enjoy your summer.
Next, we have Chief Sedlak.
Good afternoon, dear graduates. Good afternoon, parents. Thank you. Good to see all the smiling faces. You know, that's a pretty good line. Smoking is easy to quit. I've done it 1,000 times. And that means, you're right, he failed at it 999 times and actually 1,000 or more. But what he was addicted in a lot of bad items, such as tobacco, such as alcohol, certainly many, many different illegal drugs, even some prescription drugs, when taken the wrong way, are highly addictive, much more so than tobacco. And if you know anybody who does smoke, you'll know that quitting 1,000 times, that's pretty much a true statement. It's really hard once you're addicted to nicotine to be able to stop it. It's really hard, and some of these other things even harder. And the best way to kick an addiction is to never acquire it. Truly the best way. You know, some time back, and I think it was President Reagan's White House and administration, they had the saying, just say no. It was about drugs, the war against drugs. Just say no. And some people made fun of that. They thought, oh, that's so simplistic. But you know, it is actually the very best advice, because so many bad things that occur in life or can occur in life, once you open the door to them is when the problem begins. Whether you're addicted physically, emotionally, however it occurs, there's different types of addictions. I don't know if you learned that, but there's different types of ways of being addicted to things that are not good for you. And you can't get addicted if you don't open the door to it if you don't do it the first time. So that just saying no actually makes so much sense. And the way you do that, oftentimes, because I'll tell you, it's not going to be easy. It is not easy. When you have friends around you and they decide they're going to try something and they're doing their best to get you to say, okay, I'll go along, it's hard to say no because you kind of stand out. They might make fun of you. They might call you a chicken. They might do this or that. It is really tough. You use the tools. That's what D.A.R.E is all about. That's what this graduation is about. It's about providing you with information that actually are tools. They're ways to live a better life and to extricate yourself or to stop something bad from happening. So that's the important thing about this graduation. It's not that you've finished the course, but that you've acquired this information and you can now carry it with you through the rest of your life. And when these things happen, and they will happen, as everybody has told you, and more so as you get older, just reflect back, think about what were some of the ways that we talked about in D.A.R.E to say no. Sometimes not directly, but there's ways, sometimes very directly, but there's ways indirectly to do it too. Every situation has the best solution. You've been given a variety of solutions. Use the one that you think is best to help you to stay safe, to help your friends to stay safe. You've got to be strong, because being strong means being healthy and being successful in life. And if you're not strong, you open the door to addiction and other bad things. So I hope that you remember this, remember all the things that you learned, and when those times do come, I hope you remember what everybody here has told you, and you do just say no. Have a great vacation and the great 6th grade next year, and the great rest of your life. Thank you.
And Dr. Vail.
Thank you, Officer Chair. It's certainly an honor for me to be here to help celebrate your graduation from D.A.R.E. On behalf of the Board of Education, all the administration and staff, we certainly are proud of you for going through this program. You know, we have 2 jobs here at the school district, one to teach you and the other to keep you safe. And we do our best every day to do both those things. You know, it didn't start here, though. It started back there at home. Your mom, dad, aunts, uncles, grandparents, brothers, sisters, they kept you safe, and they tried to teach you. You had some great teachers back there. Then you came to school. You have some great teachers here. You'll have some great teachers as you move on to middle school and high school, and they're going to teach you, and they're going to keep you safe. We consider Officer Sheriff to be one of our staff members, and he's taught you many things, and he's teaching you to be safe. Everyone up here has talked about the challenges that you will face somewhere along the line in your life. Someone you know, someone you don't know. So you need to say something. Like you said, use those tools. Use what you've learned this year to make those good decisions, those smart choices. Okay, as we talk about, if you see something, say something. You're not in it alone. Look around you. There's your support system right here. Each other, your parents, your grandparents, aunts and uncles, your teachers, whomever. Okay? So when you're tempted, when you think you're going the wrong way, when someone else is going the wrong way, speak up, do the right thing, be safe, and have a great, great, great school life and life after that. You've got 2 days left. Finish strong. I saw some of the teachers smile when I said that, 2 days left, but I don't know about the parents. They're a little iffy on that. But we certainly want you to have 2 great last days of school. Have a wonderful summer, and good luck in middle school next year. Thank you.
One of the last things the students do in D.A.R.E class is they write a D.A.R.E report. Not only do they have to write a report, but they have to present it to their classmates. And we selected a few students. They're going to share parts of their D.A.R.E reports today. So if they can all come up when I call their names, Kailing Dagan Vitale, Cynthia Bonilla, Deacon Mitchell, and so Sophie Giovanna. Who's up first?
Right along here.
Yep. When you're done, just stay up here, okay?
Hello, fellow scholars, family members, staff, and members of our community. My name is Kaya, and today we will be talking to you about D.A.R.E, which stands for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. We will be speaking to you about what we learned in D.A.R.E class and how we plan to use this information we learned for the future in future situations.
D.A.R.E class taught me how to resist drugs, alcohol, and tobacco, as well as how they can affect your health and future. First, D.A.R.E class taught me the health effects of consuming alcohol. I learned that alcohol affects the way that the body works and functions. Alcohol can and most likely will cause memory loss, poor judgment, loss of coordination, and slow reflexes. I also learned that it is illegal to sell alcohol to anybody under the age of 21. In D.A.R.E class, Officer Doug also taught me that mixing any type of alcohol with any type of medicine is severely dangerous. This year I learned a devastating fact, which is that there are more than 75,000 alcohol-related deaths each year in the U.S. Alcohol has the ability to slow down the body's function so much that it can lead to a coma or possibly death. Alcohol consumption affects the teen body more severely than the adult body because the teen body is still growing and developing. Next, D.A.R.E class taught me that tobacco can lead to health issues just like alcohol can. I learned that smoking can lead to heart disease. Smokers have more colds and upper respiratory issues because of smoking. Smoking causes lung cancer, and that chewing tobacco can cause tooth loss, mouth cancer, and other health issues. I also learned that smoking has the ability to cause bad breath and yellow your teeth, along with causing dry skin and wrinkles. In D.A.R.E class, we were taught that it is illegal in the United States to sell anybody under the age of 18 or 19 tobacco, as well as learning that there are more than 200 known harmful chemicals in cigarette smoke. We were also taught that cigarettes contain nicotine, which is a very powerful and addictive substance. More than 400,000 Americans die each year from tobacco-related causes, and more than 50,000 of those can be attributed to secondhand smoke. Officer Doug has taught us that smoking is the leading preventable cause of death in the United States, as well as in D.A.R.E we learned how to resist drugs and alcohol. We learned that peer pressure is when people your age are trying to get you to do something. That something could be bad or it could be good. In the case of drugs and alcohol, peer pressure is a bad kind of pressure. When you're being peer pressured, you may feel the urge to do whatever the person that is pressuring you to do is doing. It is good to learn how to resist peer pressure because it could help you to make better decisions. Also, learning about peer pressure could help you now, even with things that aren't drugs or alcohol. For example, learning about peer pressure could help you when you are with friends and they want you to spend the night and you know that your parents would never let you, or that you know you wouldn't make it through the night. You would be peer pressured because your friends, which are your age, are wanting you to do something that you know you aren't allowed to do or you know that you won't be able to do. Finally, in D.A.R.E we learned how to report bullying. We learned that to report bullying happening near you, you need to use the 5 W's. Who, what, when, where, and why if you know the reason that a person is getting bullied. Never guess why they are getting bullied if you aren't sure. Guessing could lead to more problems and more bullying. D.A.R.E class taught me that if you see somebody being bullied continuously, tell an adult or somebody that could help solve the situation. I learned that it is only called bullying if it is a one-way situation that happens continuously. If it is going back and forth, then it's called arguing. If you see somebody being bullied, do something about it, and don't leave the situation without at least trying to help in some way, shape, or form. And if when you report bullying, you want to keep yourself anonymous, which means that nobody will know you are the person who made the report, you can.
These are only 4 of the many ways that I will use what I learned in D.A.R.E to make safe and responsible choices. The first way that I will use what I learned in D.A.R.E to make safe and responsible choices is by remembering to stay away from places that drug use is common and try to stay away from drugs as much as possible. The second way that I will use what I learned in D.A.R.E to make safe and responsible choices is by remembering to report bullying that I see, and when I report, to tell the person I'm reporting the 5 W's. The third way that I will use what I learned in D.A.R.E is by remembering not to talk demanding or unconfident to someone, but to talk confidently to someone. The fourth way that I will use what I learned in D.A.R.E to make safe and responsible choices is by remembering to not throw away old prescription drugs or medicine in my trash can, because someone could get into it and get really sick because that medicine was prescribed to me.
Every Thursday for the past few months, we've had a visitor in the 5th grade, and his name is Officer Doug. We've learned a lot in D.A.R.E this year, and now I know what is right and what is wrong to do. First, if someone asks you if I want a cigarette or say no or walk away. Next, I will stay away from bullies by going a different way, or if they talk to me about doing something wrong, I will just walk away. Then I will share what I learned in D.A.R.E to family and friends so they can stay safe and keep their body healthy. Last, I will follow these rules and do not do any of these so I can stay safe and healthy.
As you can tell, this year in D.A.R.E we learned an ample amount of valuable things, and when you put it in the aspects of life, it's all very helpful. If you know how to apply what you learned, then D.A.R.E will pay off significantly to you. Now that our report is concluded, I'd like to thank my audience for listening intently and Officer Doug for teaching us all of these helpful lessons, which will come in handy when needed and we'll know what to do. Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great job. Angle. Let's do this. There you go. Congratulations. There you go. Congratulations. Great job.
Thank you.
There you are. Congratulations. Great job.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And there you are, sir. Congratulations. Good job. All the students did a great job on their reports, and those 5 are just a perfect example of that. The last group I'd like to thank are the ones that make my job as a D.A.R.E officer very easy, and that's the staff here at Mark Twain. And that begins with the principal, Mrs. Lee Marker. And your 5th grade teachers, Mrs. DeMott, Mrs. Eden, and Mr. Randolph. And now it's time for you guys to receive your certificates, and we'll begin with Mrs. Eden's class. All right. You're the only one responding, so you got firsties.
Okay. Start now? Okay. All right. Patricia Alcoin. Sir George Alexander. Austin Benton. Max Branham. Carson Bush. Faith Lon. Got out of order there. Marcus Curd. Jonathan McGuire. Sierra Moeller. Jaden Morrow. Brina Porter. Macy Powell. Cameron Roush. Aiden Ring. Morgan Schmitz. Noah Tinney. Chad Tomlinson. Gracie Ward. Nora Willoit. And Alyssa Woodford.
Thank you. Next, we have Mrs. DeMott's class.
Grady Carter. Jackson Carter. They're related. Layla Chambers. Skylar Cochran. Oh, sorry. Aaron Crawford. Logan Ferriman. Claudia Greenward.
Congratulations.
Kyra Henry. Kilila Holbrook. Caden Lucas. Denny Masters. Carson McLaughlin. Lily Mills. Deacon Mitchell. Mackenzie Mullins. Trevor Phillips. Braden Trent. Dagan Vitale. Haley Watkins.
Congratulations. Thank you. And Mr. Randolph's class.
Thank you, sir. First, we have Jaylee Adams. Chloe Alcorn. Aiden Bergassi. Cynthia Bonilla. Reed Branham. Ava Brewer. Amelia Donato. Ezekiel Evans. Luke Hardacre. Braden Hicks. Sophie Yovanov. Cole Kendall. Kaya Ling. Addison McMillan. Jalen Nooks. Joey Olikas. Lance Richmond. Natalie Riffle. And Jackson Slamka.
All right, the last thing we'll do as part of our graduation ceremony is I have a short little video to show you. Thanks again for everyone coming out today. Students, have a great summer. Be safe, and I look forward to seeing you again next year in 6th grade. Thank you. All right.
Thanks for being our D.A.R.E teacher and everything.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Good job. Thank you, guys. Thank you.